Today, we're diving into a story that feels like it's straight out of an adventure movie. We're talking about a series of ancient heists centered on one of the most sacred and treasure-filled tombs ever known, the tomb of King David. In our guide for this whole thing, the ancient historian Josephus. So our story kicks off with a legendary prize. Josephus tells us that King David was buried with, quote, great and immense wealth. Now, we're not just talking about a little bit of gold here. We're talking about a fortune so huge it was considered one of the greatest ever, just sitting there, sleeping beneath the streets of Jerusalem. But here's the crazy part. Almost as soon as David was in the ground, around 970 BC, people completely forgot where the tomb was. For 800 years, this unbelievable treasure was just lost. A myth, a secret, hiding right under everyone's feet. But you know a treasure that big can't stay hidden forever, right? All right, so let's get into it. Let's talk about the very first guy we know of who found and cracked open this tomb. And his reason for doing it? Well, it wasn't greed. It was pure, absolute desperation. Okay, so for more than 800 years, that tomb is just sitting there, totally undisturbed. Then, bam, we land in 135 BC, a moment of total crisis for Jerusalem. And that crisis is what sets the stage for the tomb's incredible rediscovery. So here's the scene. You've got the high priest, John Hyrcanus, and he is in a serious jam. A massive army has his city surrounded, people are starving, and things are looking grim. He manages to negotiate a truce, but it comes with a catch, an impossibly high price tag. And that price was just staggering, 3,000 talents of silver. To give you some perspective, a single talent could be more than what a common person earned in their entire life. Hyrcanus needed a king's ransom, and he needed it yesterday. With the city's coffers empty, he had to get creative. He turned to an old legend. Facing the total destruction of his city, Hyrcanus remembered the stories. He somehow located that forgotten tomb of David, broke it open, and found exactly what he was looking for. He paid off the enemy with this ancient treasure, and just like that, the siege was over. The tomb had literally saved Jerusalem. But hold on, the story doesn't end there, not by a long shot. About a century later, that same tomb would be opened again, but this time by King Herod the Great, a guy with let's say, a much darker motivation. I mean, you couldn't find two more different reasons for doing the same thing. Hyrcanus was a hero, raiding the tomb to stop a disaster. But Herod? He knew the story. He knew Hyrcanus had only taken the silver, and he couldn't stop thinking about all the gold and other treasures that were probably still down there in the dark. So Herod plans his own secret raid under the cover of night. He gets in, and while the silver is gone, he finds exactly what he was hoping for: golden furniture, priceless artifacts. Now, for most people, that would have been the score of a lifetime. But for Herod, this was just proof that there was even more to get. And that really is the perfect word for what drove Herod: avarice. That first haul didn't satisfy him. It just made him hungrier. He became obsessed. He had to get to the innermost chambers, to the actual coffins of David and Solomon, because he was convinced that's where the real treasure was hidden. So Herod decided to push his luck. He planned a second, much deeper raid, going for the ultimate prize. What he was about to find out, though, was that this tomb seemed to have its own security system. He sent his best guys deeper into the tomb, getting closer and closer to the king's sarcophagi. And that's when everything went wrong. Josephus writes that a mysterious flame just burst out of the chamber and killed two of the guards on the spot. This absolutely terrified Herod. His greed vanished, and all that was left was fear. He called off the raid immediately. Herod was so shaken up by this, he did something pretty strange. He ordered this huge, expensive monument made of white stone to be built right at the tomb's entrance. But it wasn't a monument celebrating a victory. It was a monument to his own terror, a permanent reminder of the fright he felt down there in the darkness. After that dramatic, deadly failure, the story of David's tomb takes its final, mysterious turn. The tomb that had been found twice was about to vanish again, and this time, it seems, for good. Yeah, after that terrifying incident, it really seems like there was a concerted effort to just erase the tomb from the map. Herod sealed it up tight. His own court historian never even mentions the raid. And Josephus suggests why. Breaking into the tomb of a legendary king was a shameful, deeply disrespectful act. It was bad PR, even back then. So, after Herod's failed raid and the subsequent cover-up, the trail just went completely cold. The tomb's location was lost again, and this time it has stayed lost. For 2,000 years, archaeologists, treasure hunters, you name it, no one has been able to find it. And that kind of leaves us with this incredible question hanging in the air. We know Hyrcanus took silver. We know Herod took golden artifacts. But the tomb was never fully emptied. So if it's ever found again, what's still waiting inside? Untold riches? Priceless artifacts? Or maybe, just maybe, lost records that could completely rewrite history? For now, the secret stays buried.